Soul Loss as a Spiritual View of Personality. Metaphoric Tree of Self by Aion, Farvahar. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. Hi, this is Aion Farvahar. I'm glad you're here. If it is your first time here, this channel is about self-realization and honoring your life purpose and meaning. If you're interested in these topics, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay connected. Today, I would like to describe a spiritual view of our personality. In this view, our personality is not seen as a psychological construct describing who we are, but rather as parts of our soul that had to separate from it to help us manage life when growing up, or handle challenges we face now as adults. This view of personality is related to the shamanic concept of soul loss and how, under certain conditions, parts of our soul can get stuck in a specific time, place, function, emotions, or belief. So all aspects or parts of our personality are in fact spiritual in nature. They just happen to play functional roles to protect us and help us navigate life. Viewing personality as a spiritual concept may seem archaic and not intellectually elegant to our rational minds. But if we contemplate on this, the very meaning of the Greek word psyche is in fact soul. So, in its originating root, psychology should be more about understanding of soul. In fact, Carl Jung, a pioneer in depth psychology, used the concept of soul extensively, even in his own self-realization journey. Accounts of his inner dialogue with his soul are provided in his red book referenced below. In this presentation, we focus on the following questions and topics. Who is our soul? How do we notice it? What is the relationship of our personality and our soul? A metaphoric tree of self. How do we become who we are as adults? What is soul loss and how it relates to a spiritual view of personality? How can we change our personality by retrieving the lost parts of our soul? If you wish, you can jump directly to any of these topics using the timestamp links I provided in the description below. Please note that the ideas presented here are based on my personal experience and understanding and are not meant to reflect any academic or scientific views. Reflecting on the quote I used here, I see us as spiritual beings having human experience in this world. So I hope somewhere in the road of life we all come to that realization. This presentation could be a small step toward that realization. Who is our soul? How do we notice it? You and I may have a sense of connection to our soul already, perhaps even viewing it as being one with our own self. But if you don't feel that connection, Imagine your soul as your purest sense of self, away from aspects of your life or personality that could otherwise define you. You can also view your soul as a higher source of wisdom within you. You have probably experienced this source of wisdom many times before in your life. For example, when you had a subtle feeling or an intuition about something or someone that turned out to be true. Or when you notice having certain insights about life that you don't remember ever learning it anywhere in the past. This means such insights come from a deeper place within you, beyond what you so far experienced in your biographical life. These are signs of your soul being connected to you, guiding you through life from somewhere deeper within you. Your soul knows more about you and your destiny than your own conscious self. So if you notice it and initiate a deeper connection with it, it communicates with you through intuition and imagination. In fact, most effective meditation practices work through facilitating our access to our soul and its calming and nourishing energy. What is the relationship of our personality and our soul? A metaphoric tree of self. In simple terms, our personality consists of personal qualities or behaviors that collectively define the type of person we are. Our soul is different because it is our purest sense of self, away from our personality. In fact, our personality and our soul are complementary to each other and together bring us closer to totality of our psyche or being. In Carl Jung's depth psychology, the totality of our being is also referred to as self with a capital S. But self can have other interpretations. For example, in IFL self-leadership, self has a meaning closer to the essential core of our being, which is how we experience our soul. Let's clarify the link between soul, personality, and the totality of being using a metaphoric tree. Metaphoric Tree of Self. Imagine a tree in your mind. Notice how its trunk and branches represent two very different aspects of its being. The trunk is the central axis of the tree, deeply grounded through its roots, giving the tree a sense of stability. The branches, on the other hand, are parts of the tree that grew out of its trunk, extending toward the outside world. The trunk is the axis and the essential core of the tree. It allows branches to grow out of its body and continues to nourish them afterwards. Also, through its roots, the trunk is deeply connected to the spiritual life energy of the Mother Earth. This tree is a metaphoric representation of self as the totality of our psyche or our being. The trunk is a metaphor for our soul, deeply rooted and connected to the spiritual life energy source we all emanated from. The branches are a metaphor for different aspects or parts of our personality, extending out to represent us in the outside world. The roots signify the connection of our soul to deeper spiritual realities and the unconscious inner world beyond boundaries of our consciousness. This spiritual connection remains only accessible to our soul. Like different parts of our personality, the branches happen to have different shapes and interactions with the outside world. As these branches need the trunk to survive and function, our personality parts too need access to our soul and the essential core of our being to function in this world. If you resonate with this metaphor and wish to meditate on it, you can check out one of my IFS meditations linked here. How do we become who we are as adults? When we first come to this world, experiencing life as children, we are fully connected to our soul and its clairvoyance energy. You and I may not remember this connection from back then, but we can still notice it by realizing how children, especially preschoolers, view life. They are playful, creative, and imaginative. They are soulful, free-spirited, and always look for ways to feel alive. They enjoy learning new things and take every opportunity to share what they learned with others. They have courage when playing and creating and are not afraid of judgment. And most of all, they know how to laugh and appreciate little things in life. They are like young trees with light and healthy branches, full of life and aspirations. Unfortunately, as they grow up, like we did, they start facing life challenges, setbacks, and emotional traumas. These experiences shape their personality and who they ultimately become. Our personality emerges gradually and in parts as reaction to what we experienced growing up. For example, if our playmate happened to steal or break our favorite toy, a part of us emotionally attached to that toy may feel sad or betrayed. To protect this sad or betrayed part from such incidences ever happen again, another part emerges from within us, holding a sense of mistrust toward our friends and others who may be close to us or have access to our stuff. You can see how circumstances around life events can create personality parts in us and even set the main course of our life. In fact, just a handful of our life experiences dealing with emotions such as shame, guilt, unfairness, fear, doubt, or confusion can ultimately form the most dominating parts of our personality. This is how we become who we are. What is soul loss and how it relates to a spiritual view of personality? Soul loss is a term commonly used in shamanic and ancient wisdom traditions. As the name implies, soul loss occurs when a part of the soul separates from it, usually due to an adverse or emotionally significant event in life. Most common examples of soul loss are observed in people who were involved in traumatic or existential events, such as an accident. Most of individuals experiencing these events have little or no recollection of the exact moment of accident as if the part of their soul that witnessed the accident was now lost, taking the memory of that event along. Soul loss can also manifest through noticeable psychological changes in personality. This brings us to the main topic of this presentation, the spiritual view of personality. In this view, all aspects of our personality are in fact parts of our soul that had to separate from our soul to serve us in a protective or life-assuring role. Going back to our metaphoric tree of self, we can view our personality parts like the branches that had to grow out of the trunk to protect it from the external elements in the outside world. Similarly, when we experience hardship or trauma, a part of our soul separates from it to absorb or contain the emotional burdens of that trauma, and by way of that, protecting us and our soul from it. The more emotionally intense the experiences we have in life, the more complex or burdened our personality parts become. Back to our tree metaphor, a young tree that was exposed to harsh conditions may develop thicker branches growing up, branches extending further away from its trunk. Similarly, when parts of our personality hold extreme beliefs or emotional burdens, they become more dominant, preventing us from accessing our soul or the essential core of our being. That is why those of us still carrying emotional burdens from our past or have highly active inner critics face more challenges to connect to our soul, trust ourselves, or let our heart be open again. How can we change our personality by retrieving the lost parts of our soul? We all have had challenging periods in life to various degrees, especially when growing up. So we all have parts of our personality that may still be stuck in the past and burdened by what happened back then. These are parts of our soul who had to step up to help us navigate the uncharted waters of life. They have brought us to this point in life. So maybe it is our turn now to step up and help them. We need to let them know how far we have come in this life so they can let go of their burdens from the past and instead take more inspiring roles in our life. We need to help them return to their spiritual source. We need to help them reunite with our soul. There are practical approaches that can help us do that. One approach is using psycho-shamanic or shamanic practices, especially when supervised by an elder or practitioner. This process is usually referred to as soul retrieval and involves access and retrieval of parts of our soul or personality stuck in a place or time in the past. In case you're interested to know more about this shamanic practice, I've provided a link to Sandra Ingerman's book, Soul Retrieval, in the description below. A more accessible approach for personality part retrieval is through practice of IFS self-leadership. Similarly, when using this approach, we first establish access to the essential core of our being, which in IFS term also called self. Once the connection with self is established, the personality parts that are burdened or stuck in the past can be located, unburdened, and retrieved. More information about IFS basic concept and practice is provided in the description below. Closing remarks. In closing, I hope you have found the ideas presented here useful. We were all once fully connected to our souls when we were little. But we had to let parts of our soul separate from us to form our personality to help us navigate life in this world. The stronger we identify with our personality now, the less connected we feel to our soul. But we can try to reconnect to our soul, unburden these personality parts, and retrieve the lost parts of our soul in them. It's time to reunite with all parts of our being scattered through the axis of past time. It's time to come home and to be one with soul again. It's time for soulful new beginnings. It is time. If you have found this presentation interesting, please like and share it with your like-minded friends. Also, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and share your thoughts and comments. Your support is the foundation of this channel and encourages me to create more content in the future. For more information about myself and what I do, please find my bio link in the description below. Also, if you have requests for future topics, please share it as a comment or contact me through my bio link below. Blessings.